Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to day 5 of our Lego DC week.
Today we're looking at the bizarrest movie of the franchise, Justice League versus Bizarro League.
When Bizarro World is threatened with destruction by the galactic tyrant Darkseid, Bizarro returns to Earth and clones the Justice League to create more heroes like himself. The Bizarro League! It's up to the Justice League to team up with their bizarre counterparts to stop Darkseid and save the galaxy.
Because
and no, his name is not spelled incorrectly.
Right. If one Bizarro wasn't enough, you had to make an army.
Oh my god.
Yes, this was definitely bizarre because we know there's a Bizarro World, and you know how that one works, where it's the opposite of whoever counterpart you have on Earth.
Right.
Like instead of a dashing Superman,
right.
you had this dim-witted Superman.
Right.
Kryptonite doesn't hurt him, but he has a good heart. He wants to be a superhero, but he's so clumsy and goofy that everything goes backwards and he ends up causing more trouble.
Right.
So
now, I did like this one. And I remember when we first saw it, and I'd heard of the Bizarro League, but I was not as familiar with it. And when we saw the movie, and like you said, there was a message for it. He didn't want to be evil. He really wanted to be good. But he was just like a goof up.
Right.
Is the way to put it.
Right. He just needed a lot of work.
Right.
And then you had the other ones. You had Zorro, Bizarro, Sizarro, and Green Zorro, and oh gosh, there's Zorro. You're running to the ground or so, and
and you had a couple of favorites returning: Troy Baker, Nolan North, Carrie Payton, and Kerry Waldron. But you had Dietrich Bader as Batman this time.
No, actually,
I mean, Superman.
No, actually,
who the heck was he?
He was another Green Lantern. They did not have Hal Jordan in this one. They
didn't have.
Okay, they didn't have Shiro
in
it. They didn't have Shiro in this one. I think this takes place before the Cosmic Clash, and they kind of did do something creative and have all the like 3 or 4 different Green Lantern
They had Guy Gardner, your favorite.
Yeah, he was in here, and he got a Green Zorro one. Anyway, they also had John DiMaggio. They had Lex Luthor and Deathstroke.
Oh, you're going to ignore me on the Guy Gardner comment?
Yes.
Okay.
Tom Kenny as Penguin.
Not having my show.
Hey, Tom Kenny as the Penguin and Plastic Man.
Oh, so you still got satisfaction. You had Tom Kenny and Josh Keaton. Come on. Come on.
Well, I hope there's one where they're both in Josh Keaton and Tom Kenny.
Well, they had Sylvia, April Winchell.
Right, that's true. And she was Giganta.
Yes.
And they had Phil Morris as Green Arrow and Hawkman.
And Kevin Michael Richardson.
Yes, as Captain Cold and Gorilla Grodd.
I wish it had been
Wentworth Miller?
Yeah.
That actually would have been clever,
yes,
because they had him in Young Justice playing Deathstroke, and that was a great idea, and then they changed it. Not sure why, but anyway. And we had James Arnold Taylor once again as Flash and Decide, whoever that is, and then Tony Todd as Darkseid. Instead of ones that you're more familiar with, with Superman series, the Justice League series, and then Kerry Waldron as Wonder Woman and Bizarra.
Yeah.
So they had quite a cast in here still, but the biggest stars were the main Justice League and the Bizarro counterparts. They pretty much did a lot of the fighting in here.
Well, what I would like to know, since you want to ignore the comment, why would they have the Guy Gardner version? Because it was Bizarro World and no one likes Guy Gardner?
I guess so. I guess so, because he got a Bizarro version himself too.
Right.
And the thing is, like I said, the Lego ones kind of have a different Green Lantern each time. Sometimes it's Hal Jordan, sometimes it's Kyle Reiner, sometimes it's this guy, sometimes it's a female, sometimes it's different every time. So they don't, even if they're not part of the Justice League, each one still gets a little moment in one of the movies for a spotlight.
Note to DC, don't have Guy Gardner.
Please. I mean, you have the squirrel, what's his name? I don't know, Bucky or something. Right? You have the squirrel, right? You have Kilowog, right? You have the Living Planet.
Right.
Anything but him.
Okay, so let's tell them the storyline for this DC Lego movie.
Right. So, like I said, Darkseid created these sort of clones of the Justice League. My guess is he wants his own league, like a Justice League Dark.
Now, this one was only about 50 minutes.
Yeah, this was like probably the shortest one. Maybe they didn't want to stretch out too many things, make it look like they were just struggling to find things to keep it going. Luckily, they didn't have to worry about like a time limit on television. They just had to worry about a DVD limit, which could range from just about any time they want, just as long it was long enough to qualify as a movie. As long as it's 40 minutes or more, it qualifies as a movie, especially if it's straight to DVD.
Okay.
And yeah, I feel like for this one, it was really weird seeing the Bizarro League. You know, they had to be the opposite of everybody. Like Batman, the Bizarro Batman didn't know anything.
Right.
He always had his cowl on backwards, so it was like he couldn't see out of it half the time. They have Bizarro, who was kind of dim about everything. The Green Zorro was afraid of everything. Green Lantern was supposed to be brave, so he was scared of every little thing, especially little baby ducks was his biggest fear for some reason. It's like, what?
Marco!
And then they had Sizar, who kept falling apart because he was rusty, and it was like out of date. So every time you turn around, like the smallest thing, he'd fall apart. You had to keep putting them back together.
I think this more should have been called like SpongeBob Opposite Day more than Bizarro League.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess they just called
opposite.
it. Yeah, I guess they called it Bizarro League. Was one, make a fancier title, and two, it was a Bizarro Justice League. It technically was, but as far as doing something, they couldn't really do that much until they had the help they needed near the end of the movie, and they could actually be a team. Now, they sure as heck couldn't be released on Earth and cause more chaos. But they could be called on if they needed help, and they could still like build their own world on the Bizarro World, because you see it's not that much there. So if there's ever any more Bizarro characters, they can always go there.
Now here's the thing that was interesting: it was Bizarro, and they were supposed to be the opposite of their counterparts. Right. But Bizarro was smart enough to break in and steal the duplicator from LexCorp.
Right, so I guess someone had to tell him to do this. That's the only time he can pull off any sort of plan, is if he's given instructions that are not too complex.
Right.
Because he seems to have like a limit of brain power, but I guess he makes up for it with his attempts at good deeds.
True.
And then, because like I said, we had Lex Luthor, we had the Penguin, we had Captain Cold. And then, like I said, they weren't really major villains like Darkseid. Darkseid was the biggest villain here. Right. And luckily this wasn't like the end of the franchise, because usually Darkseid is saved for the end of something, or if you're doing something really big for a movie.
Like DC's Thanos.
Yeah, basically. But I think the best one they did is when they did like the one where they had Supergirl in there. I think it was the Apocalypse movie, and they went to Apocalypse because, remember, that's when Supergirl first came there, and while Superman took on Supergirl, who had turned to the dark side temporarily, and then they had Wonder Woman take on the Furies, and then Batman took on Darkseid and took the whole planet hostage on his own. It's like, oh crap, what'd you need the other two for? But same thing for here. Batman knew how to do everything. In every movie, he knows how to do everything. Unless something happens to his brain and he's unable to focus, or they take away his ability, he figures out how to do everything. And I'm like, how do you know this is going to happen?
He's Batman.
And there's always this running joke where he has his kryptonite in his back pocket. Like, he also knows how to take every one of us down if we have him to turn rogue. Right. And you always have kryptonite in your pocket in case Superman goes rogue. When is he ever going to go rogue? And then he goes rogue at some point.
Well, what makes this movie worth watching is not only the competition between them as they battle and try to figure out how to counteract each other, but again, the ending as to where they help them to create their own league that helps their own people.
Right.
And it has a happy ending. There's no spoilers. It's a DC Lego movie.
Right.
But that was a great message in the end that was conveyed to the viewers.
Right.
And I really did like the ending.
Right.
And you did see a little bitty soft part of Batman.
Right.
Just a little.
Right, he has a heart under the cowl. So, but yes, this was another great addition to the lineup. And it looks like that a lot of these superheroes have started getting their own little movies, since the live action was going to take 50 years to do any movie, and then when they do the movie, they barely get any screen time. And they do villains. The villains get movies first before the superheroes. So at least we have the Lego universe to thank for giving them the spotlight they deserve, even if they're taken a different way and they're a little more silly and goofy for this universe. They still get something, because they're actually sometimes they're more entertaining than the ones we see in live action. Some of them are really great, but they're the ones that you can't wait for, and they're going to take 5 to 6 years to do. And like I said, we got one with Flash. We had one with Aquaman now. We had one with the Gotham City Breakout, Legion of Doom. They had like so many. And now, like I said, each individual hero is kind of getting their own movie, which is great to see.
Right, definitely.
So, if you haven't seen Justice League versus Bizarro League, we absolutely recommend it just for fun to watch. Like we said, there's no continuity to follow, so you don't have to see others before it or after it. You can just watch it if you want to have a laugh and see a little goofy part of the Justice League that's not brain dead humor. This is definitely something to watch, and everyone will love.
Yes, definitely.
So
if you've seen it, tell us what you like best about it in the comments below, or who even your favorite character was from this movie.
Yes. So, thanks for watching. I'm Masco Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a toontastic day.
Peace.
And reporters sitting, flashing lights, trying to walk around, man, who the hell are you? What you wanna do? Well, man, it's on you. Man, it's on you. Hit her in my dreams, she was my queen. A castle in the mountaintops, rivers and streams. Plucking sunlight from the sky in my pocket, give it to you later on in the form of a light.